Welcome to the Fun Astrology Podcast. It's a new week. We are in between the eclipses. We are Mercury retrograde, and it is safe here. Come on in. Let's talk about what's going on in the sky. Hi, Thomas Miller. Thanks for joining us. My new week is kicking off great. I've been good and responsible to throttle back after the big course launch on Thursday. And for those of you who have accepted that horary course and are in it, I know you are just loving the learning and the knowledge. It is amazing to think that we put something out there that will be available for people for years and decades to come that can help on their personal and astrological journey. So if you'd like to take a look at it, just go to the website, funastrology.com. It's there. It will be there, and we're going to just let you find it and get it when you want it. So it's a tremendous tool. Thank you to those of you who have already purchased it. Now, we are in between eclipses, but what does this last week of April look like for us in the sky? Very quiet. In fact, one of the biggest things of the week is today, where the sun conjoins the north node. So that peaks the moon wobble. You know, I keep wobbling on the moon wobble. I just keep observing it. It's like, tuck it away, see what you think. This time seemed like not so much, but we'll see. We are in between eclipse season. And, you know, speaking of that, Thursday came and went, as most eclipses do. It's the residual effect that we have to watch. I've been seeing some commentary about economic stuff, and I think some of it's related to the eclipses, and some of it's just, I don't know, in the space. One astrologer was talking about Mercury being at 12 degrees Taurus in several of the past historic crashes. Well, okay, but how many times is Mercury at 12 degrees Taurus? Every 88 days, precisely. So, I don't know. We'll just have to keep watching, stay diligent, watch the signs, feel your own intuition, feel your emotions. And if you're like me and you need still a little more time to rest, well, this is a good week to do it. Later today at basically 3 p.m. Eastern, the moon enters Cancer. So the moon coming home, I always like, because I love tuning into the intuition that is just free and easy. As they say, the veil is thinner during these times. And by the way, did I mention the time of the moon wobble peak today, 7 a.m. Eastern? Now, tomorrow we have an interesting aspect. The sun sextiles Saturn. I had a listener question that came in through an email over the weekend. She was basically, it was an interesting question. I'm not going to go into all the details of it, but she was looking at the chart. She's fairly young. She just had her first Saturn return. I know some of you say, oh, that's so old. Yeah, look at it from my end of the timeline. Just a child getting started. But what she was asking about were these shadowy planets. You know, when Saturn comes around, should we be afraid? And I gave her a list of some things that you can say, well, the coin has two sides. And I actually referred her to the Elements series audiobooks and set of books that Steve wrote, Steve Forrest, that I was so privileged to narrate. Because if you're looking at the shadowy side of astrology and you want to really get clear on both sides of the coin, Steve does that brilliantly throughout that entire series. Saturn is covered in the Book of Earth, for example. And yes, Saturn is one of the ancient malefic planets, and we honor the fact that Saturn does delay, and it can destroy, and it can be death, and it can be karma. Paybacks for karma are not fun, I can tell you. I learned through this study that my first marriage, the mom of my kids, was a karmic debt. Now repaid, now clear. And once that was cleared and resolved, then our personal interactions got a lot better. So I got to say, clearing karma is a painfully good thing. And that's the other part of Saturn is we lay a new structure, a new foundation. And I have said that the life that we live now sets the stage for the life that we will have next. That's legacy. That's Saturn. It's about something lasting. If you listen to the Old Soul, New Soul astrology podcast where Robert and I talked about the course launch, the Saturn prominence in Pisces, laying down something that is going to be spiritually relevant for decades. That's Saturn. So as we move through these things and we encounter these various events that are certainly ahead of us, whatever they are, we will look at it through the lens of both sides of the coin. We don't fear the shadow side. We don't get overly exuberant or enthusiastic about the positive side. We just keep it in the middle. Keep a good, balanced Libran perspective. Now, before we wrap up today, I just would like to go around the chart real quick and let's talk about some of the energies that are at play for us now. And of course, the sun has moved into Taurus, where it conjoins the North Node today. So that's the big impact of today, squaring up with that karma again. So if something kind of hits you today, look at it through the karmic lens. You might find some answers there, especially if it's around Earth, Taurus, or things that are grounded and balanced, or even through the lens of Venus, which could also bring some flavoring to whatever that is that you might be looking at. Mercury is retrograde, of course, in Taurus, so now it is pulling back away from Uranus, heading back toward the sun. Uranus, eternally, it seems, still in Taurus. Now, our Gemini situation is Venus, 15 degrees in the middle of the sign, and, of course, the moon moving through there into Cancer later today. So void, of course, starts at what time? Let's see, 8:14 this morning. So most of today, actually, is a void, of course, moon. Jupiter, wrapping up its last 6 degrees in Aries, moves into Taurus May 16th. So we have, 3 more weeks of Jupiter in Aries. Saturn in Pisces for the next couple of years, and Pluto dancing the line between Aquarius and Capricorn. It will be stationing retrograde 1 week from today. Already slow and getting slower. Sitting at 0 degrees, feeling the effects of Pluto, are we not? Transformation is in the air. You know what I told our friend who wrote in was, when you think of Pluto, think of the butterfly. And what does the butterfly have to do in order to become a butterfly? Go through the cocoon, right? So bring on the cocoons. At least be easy about bringing on the cocoons. Live on the high timeline, folks. Just stay positive, stay encouraging. If you encounter something negative, find 3 positive things, at least, maybe 5 would even be better, to offset the negative. All right? That's the theme for the week. The 3-to-1 or the 5-to-1 ratio. Go out there and find something positive to watch or hear so that you negate that negative energy. All right? We'll see you back tomorrow. Love you. Bye-bye.